Hi, I'm Rachel McLeod. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and emotional wellness coach. There we go. I'm going to take my glasses off. Um, Today, I want to talk with you about a long title, um, How to Create Reliable Mental Health Without Having to Fake It Till You Make It, even if you're anxious most of the day. That was a long one. That's really what I want to talk about because this is absolutely possible. I want you to know that it's possible. And I want you to know it's not about faking it till you make it. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Um, and this is really what we want because we want reliable mental health. I can't tell you how many people don't go after their dream because they're afraid they're going to have a panic attack or they're afraid they're going to shrink back, self sabotage. Become too anxious to function, embarrass themselves, so many things because they just can't rely on their mental health. They can't rely on their brain not racing, their heart not racing, their thoughts not racing. Um, and it's really challenging to not be able to rely on yourself. And it becomes very limiting. And after a while, your world just gets smaller and smaller. Anxiety is not one of those things that gives back. It actually keeps taking and getting worse over time. And one of the things we lose that we don't even we take for granted is the ability to rely on our mental health, to know we can go to this appointment and it's going to be okay. We're going to be able to stay calm and sane and well during that event or have a conversation, and we're not going to go into a state of fight, flight, freeze, faint, or fawn. And being able to rely on yourself. And so the thing with that is that once we go into one of those survival states, we shift into the part of the brain where we don't have choices. Or that part of the brain chooses our survival state for us, and then it just goes. And it's very difficult to stop that. And we've had enough time, enough experiences where the next thing we know, we're in having a conversation. The next thing, we're fawning all over the person. We're appeasing them. We're saying yes when we mean no. We're like, and inside we're like, why are we agreeing to this? We don't even like this, but it keeps coming out of our mouth. Or we're fleeing. We're getting out of the scenario. We're avoiding things. We have so much resistance, we just can't even unwind and enjoy the moment. And so that makes us start dreading the things we want to be doing. And that's really when we see that we don't have the reliability we need in our mental health. It could go haywire, offline. We can spiral out, spin out, and really wind up worse off and in a very difficult place emotionally and mentally. And that's a lot. And I would even say if that's happening to you, you probably don't even know how much that's costing you emotionally and mentally and just in life experiences. And here's my train in the background. And so this is what we want to create. We want to create reliable mental health, and we are not going to be faking it till we make it. That's not satisfying. We want to be authentic in our lives. We want to be genuinely grounded, genuinely calm, genuinely ourself, genuinely empowered. Big word for me there. We want that. We don't want to be faking it. And maybe you've tried that already. That can be very painful. And then you have your inner critic in there. You know that's not you, right? I mean, it just can spiral into such a big thing. So we want this to be authentic. And the deal is that when our brain figures out how to resolve symptoms of anxiety, the problem's solved. It's not like where you have to say, okay, all these pep talks to yourself, all this, hey, we're going to go do this, and gearing yourself up and pumping yourself up and doing all these mental tricks just to go do the thing you want to do. We want that wellness to come from the inside out. That's your brain's job. All these symptoms of anxiety are really the brain saying, I'm having trouble. I need to process this piece of information. That's why it keeps looping. That's why you keep thinking about it over and over, because I'm trying to resolve this. And the brain is also saying, I need some help. And when we apply that help, it finally is like, can complete it, and quickly, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 40 minutes if it's super complex. But once it can complete it, that's really when it can start creating wellness. It can start, oh, I know what to do with this. I don't have to panic. I can just do these strategies. That brains are good at that. That's what they're designed to do. And they're also designed to need support once in a while. And if you've got a disorder, that once in a while was a while ago. But at any time, we can help it out now. The brain doesn't, most of the brain doesn't know about time. So even though that something happened a while ago, or it was like, I didn't know how to resolve something a while ago, it can still do it now. It's great at that. And so, and so we can really help the brain help us create reliable mental health, right? And you want to get your brain to do that. You want your brain to be the one to figure out, oh, we don't have to panic over this. Oh, we don't need fawning. Please, don't you know you want your brain to figure that out? Do you want to keep chasing it around and telling it, oh, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine, fine? It doesn't care anyway. That part of the brain that's choosing that survival state doesn't listen to reasoning. It's not a logic center. It's not a talk center. It doesn't care what you say, what you think. It doesn't care what you do. It doesn't care any rationale. All it cares about is we're in danger. We're out. Or we're going to fight. We're going to flight. We're going to freeze, faint, or fawn. But when it figures this out, then you get reliable mental health. Because what happens is we want to take a symptom of anxiety and walk it through your brain's healing process. Our brains have a natural process for this. We want to take it through. We don't want to hope it's going to resolve because it hasn't yet. And if it was going to, it would have already. We want to grab hold of that and make sure it gets through. Once it gets through, it goes. I wish I had a drawing of this. And don't make me draw this for you because it's not going to be cute. But symptoms of anxiety are, it's actually information from the body. It's like a report from the body about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, the situations that are around, the chemicals you're ingesting. Anxiety is communication from your body about that. It's also communication from your subconscious mind about what it knows about this situation, that thought, that feeling, that physical sensation, the sensory information you're getting. Like every part of you is like, ooh, we know about that. And it's dangerous, or it's safe, or everybody's saying stuff, right? And all of them need to get their information that they know about this triggering situation you have, and they need to get this information into the front of the brain. That's their whole job. That's why we have bodies, is to send information to the brain, and the brain then figures out what's going on and then tells us this is what's up, and off we go. And we want it to be accurate. But if that stuff can't get to the front of the brain, that part of the brain can't work its magic to solve our problems. And a lot of times it'll say, oh, this isn't as dangerous as you thought it was, body. And so the body just stops panicking, stops being anxious. It'll also say, hey, thoughts, this isn't as scary as we don't actually need to catastrophize this. You will notice catastrophizing stopping. The subconscious mind, the stories and the fears and the worst case scenarios coming from there, the nightmares, this process stops that. It resolves those problems that the subconscious mind is having, that is showing up in your life as symptoms of anxiety. And this is fast. And then not only do we just get to resolve one symptom after another, which then makes more and more of our life where we can have reliable mental health. If you can go to that meeting and not have a panic attack, if you can have a conversation with your child without screaming, ending up in a screaming match, if you can be in an intimate situation and be calm and relaxed and enjoy yourself, really, that's where you start to rely on yourself. That's where you start to have reliable mental health. And we can take that back over and over again, even if you have anxiety most of the day right now. And the other bonus you get from this, which I love the bonuses, but most people are just like, make this symptom stop, Rachel. Okay, I appreciate that, and I'm with that, but there are bonuses. Once your brain can finally resolve the symptom, then you have all this growth that happens, because the rest of your brain is like, ooh, now we can do this, now we can do that, now we can see it like this. Oh, this little way of resolving this over here, we can do that same thing over there. It's like a mental wellness explosion in your head. Like the brain just starts rewiring. Your subconscious mind starts shifting, and the next thing you know, you're doing things, you're saying things, you're experiencing things you've only hoped to experience. You only wished you could. And now your brain has finally been able to create it, because it's always trying to create that for us. Always, always. The symptoms of anxiety are the brain telling us, hey, I want to make this for you, but I'm stuck. Right? So here we can really team up with these symptoms, and we can help our brain resolve one after the other until pretty soon they are just not showing up anymore. They are not blocking us. They are not stopping us. They are not harming our relationships. We're not choosing behaviors that are harming us just to cope with this. We just don't have to do it anymore. And it's possible. And really, the trick is to resolve one symptom after the other, and even more importantly, to get your brain to do that for yourself. And so that's really what I want to talk to you about. This is absolutely possible. It's so much faster than you can even imagine. And it's so fun. I know that that's wild, crazy kind of talk. But I can't tell you, I spend most of my time laughing with my clients, even over some really difficult things, because this really is phenomenal. And so anyway, I just wanted to talk with you about that. I want you to know, if you've got anxiety all day long right now, there is so much hope. There is so much transformation. There is so much joy coming your way. Brains, anxiety is really a fear thing. And so if you've got a lot of anxiety, it means you've got a lot of fear that needs to be processed. And that fear, brains take fear, and once it gets it through the healing pathways, it really converts fear into hope and courage. So if you got a lot of fear, you're also about to have a lot of hope and a lot of courage. And that's exciting. So really see this anxiety as opportunities for growth, for healing, for wellness, for connection, for courage, for hope. That's really what this is about. It's about taking that stuff and cashing it in and get your money's worth out of this and stop suffering, really. Get your growth and stop suffering. So if this is something that you want to talk with me about, I invite you to book a call, grab a spot on my calendar, choose a time that works for you, and we'll take a look at where you are now, where you want to go, and the next best steps to get you really overcoming this anxiety problem. So you can book that call by going to rachelmcleod.com/call. And I will call you at the time that you choose. Okay? This call is absolutely free. And it's really for you if overcoming anxiety is your absolute top priority and something that you're wanting to be done with now, and you hope to see this problem out of your life in the next 2 to 6 months. So so thrilled I jumped on and just had this little chat with you all. I will see you soon. Bye.